excited to have you. Today we are going to be talking about a topic that you all know at this point that I love, interior design. In this video, I'm going to give you my 6 top tips for interior design. So the first thing I think is important is thinking through what your theme is. That is supposed to be your anchor, okay? And our place, as you all know, the theme was modern, kind of like luxury, young, sexy kind of vibe, clean. That was kind of the theme. You have to ask yourself what you want to feel when you get in the space and what you want other people to feel when they see the space or when they're in the space. So the first thing that you want to do above everything and before you start anything else is ask yourself, what are some of those themes? What do you want to convey to yourself, to your family, to your friends? How do you want to feel? And how do you want them to feel when they walk into your space? The second thing that I would recommend is actually writing out what's the most important thing to you. So when I was talking to my sister, one of the things that she mentioned is really important for her in her space is a lot of comfort, okay? She cares so much about comfort. She wants the rug to be comfortable. She wants the couch to be comfortable. She wants everything to be super comfortable, not super high end to the point where she's concerned about messing it up. She really wants to feel comfortable, that she can just relax. Okay, I know for me, one of the main important things for me is while I want things to be comfortable, my most important thing is I want it to look nice, right? I want it to have a luxury feel. And sometimes that's not necessarily always going to lend itself to comfort. Sometimes it might, right? But essentially what you should be doing is writing out what's most important to you. Some questions that I've asked myself is, are you willing to sacrifice some comfort over luxury, or are you willing to give up some practicality over luxury, right? Or maybe you have a smaller space and you really want to make sure that you're maximizing it. Are you willing to give up having a bunch of little things for maybe one thing that can act in multiple different ways, right? Again, you have to ask yourself what's more important to you. Maybe you prefer not having clutter, right? And therefore you have to be creative about how you maximize different pieces of furniture, for example. Again, what is most important to you? And that's what we did. We went ahead and we wrote down what's most important to us. One of the things for me was not having clutter. So using things in a smart way, not necessarily just buying all this stuff and cluttering, right? Comfort is important, but looks are more important for me. So we kind of had to adjust, right? Things that are comfortable, right, but look very, very stylish. So maybe they're not going to be ultra comfortable, but I think as long as they're moderately comfortable for us, that was fine because we really cared more about the style. So again, writing down what you care about, what's most important to you. The third thing is draw your inspiration. Pictures, 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 okay? I really like Pinterest. I know other folks like IG, you have HGTV, you have magazines, you have a lot of stuff to look at. What I would recommend is creating virtual boards where you essentially save all the different things that really is inspiring you. What pieces are speaking to you the most in the pictures, right? One thing that I really appreciated about looking at different pictures was the contrast between white and black, and that's what I was super excited about. And also looking at a potential for a gallery wall and all those different things. Again, I drew that from inspiration of color blocking and all of that stuff that I got from Pinterest and IG and HGTV, and I essentially carried that within this design too. I made it my own, of course, but the thing is pick something that inspires you, right? You want to be able to maybe think about one central piece or one central color or color scheme that inspires you and have that be what drives the rest of your design decisions inside of your own place. The fourth thing is to spend time in the space. Okay, so this might sound weird, but I actually spent time sitting down in the space and kind of visualizing how I would like to use the space, how the space best shows up for me in my everyday, right? It's not only about luxury, just, not thinking about like practical ways that you can actually use your space. It's also about thinking about how you desire to use your space. For me, I really like a lot of people over. I want to make sure that it flows and it's open for people to be able to sit down and stand up if we were to have a party or something like that, right? I also really value cooking for people. So in that sense, we need space not only for the table, right? But having the practicality of the bench, right, adds to the possibility of us being able to actually sit and feed up to 7 people at our table at once, right? So we're just really thinking about how do you want to use this space? One of the things that I also did was I walked through this space. And as I spent a few more days in the space, I realized, hey, like, these are some of the things that I would benefit from. These are some of the things that I don't actually need that I thought I wanted. And all of the other things in between. One of the things that I like about sitting in this space is the fact that you can actually sit and imagine. You can imagine kind of how your everyday would look. You can imagine what a big get-together might look like. You can imagine what a game night might look like. And based on all the things, again, that are important to you that you should have done in number 3, you can essentially allow that to tailor how you imagine using the space in tip number 4, okay? So just imagine. That is what it is. Just imagine. Also see, okay, does this space get good lighting or not, right? Again, being in the space, you know that. So you know whether or not you can afford to paint a wall black, or you know whether or not you can afford to have darker pieces of furniture, or whether or not you need to maximize on white pieces of furniture, lighter pieces of furniture, bright pieces of painting, and all of that stuff. Being in this space allows you to kind of get a feel of how does it feel to be in it? Do you like it? And how would you like to transform it in order to actually feel and operate in it the way that you want to? The 5th thing is around sketching. OMG, you all have seen my sketches, okay? Sketching does not have to be fancy. You can get a sketchbook, but you can also just get a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil and write that puppy out, okay? One of the things I really like about sketching is it allows you to use your imagination. It also allows you to see whether or not things would actually look good in a certain way, okay? So I definitely recommend sketching. It allows you to kind of say, I don't actually like that. Or it allows you to be like, okay, like I actually do like that. It also allows you, especially if you're living like me, I'm living with my husband, maybe you're living with a roommate or a family member or so on and so forth. It allows you to communicate those ideas to them so that you two are on the same page about the design. It also allows you, like I was saying, to really think about whether or not what's in your head will actually work in the space. And the 6th and final thing is making it happen, okay? Make it happen, make it happen, make it happen. That means looking on the internet, figuring out where you can find what is exactly in your head, right? That also means going to different stores and maybe not having a timeline for when, or having an extended timeline rather, so that you can actually spend the time to find the exact pieces that were part of your vision. I think another thing to that is to be flexible, okay? It is so important to be flexible. Sometimes what is on the sketchbook does not actually manifest in what actually makes the most sense for your space or maybe for your budget. So you're gonna have to adjust. Also, you might find a piece that you're like, wow, I really, really like it, but that wasn't part of my original design, and you might want to incorporate it. So again, being flexible to what you're able to find, to what your budget is, to your timeline, all of that stuff will help you make it happen and make it happen well.